Mothers, have you ever wondered how the baby develops throughout pregnancy? Fathers, when you realized you were going to have a little bundle of joy, did you think about how it was going to develop? Have you guys ever wondered how your baby was a perfect mix between your partner and you? I am going to inform you about how the fetus develops through pregnancy. I have done a lot of research on the internet and in books in the local library about how the fetus develops week by week. I know you guys already know a lot of information about pregnancy, but when you researched, did you pay attention to the little details, such as when the baby can first open up its eyes? That's why I'm here. I am here to discuss with you that during pregnancy, the baby develops in 3 main stages: trimester 1, trimester 2, and trimester 3. Now you know what this speech is about. Let's talk about weeks 1 to 12, which is known as trimester 1. Trimester 1, it can be broken up into 3 separate periods: germinal, embryonic, and fetal. The germinal period lasts from about weeks 1 to 2. Rapid cell division occurs in weeks 1 to 2. And this process is called mitosis. Biology in Focus says that mitosis is the process of nuclear cell division in eukaryotic cells. The zygote divides and a blastocyte is formed. Human Development, a cultural approach, says that the blastocyte consists of 2 separate layers: the trophoblast and the embryonic disc. The blastocyte implants into the uterus and it forms 3 things: the umbilical cord, the amnion, and the placenta. The embryonic period lasts from weeks 3 to 8. The embryonic disc forms 3 separate layers: the ectoderm, the mesoderm, and the endoderm. The ectoderm is the outer layer, the mesoderm is the middle layer, and the endoderm is the inner layer. During weeks 3 to 4, fetal development week by week says that the heartbeat begins and the ribs, muscles, and digestive tract form. In weeks 3 to 5, the arms and legs are now being formed, and the umbilical cord and the placenta are now beginning to work. In the fetal period, it is from weeks 9 to 12. The genitals are now being formed and they release sexual hormones. The pregnancy book says that the baby can now respond to touch, and the heartbeat can also be heard through an ultrasound. Now that you know what trimester 1 is about, let's talk about weeks 13 to 24, which is known as trimester 2. Trimester 2 is a great time of growth and development. The baby grows in many separate ways. Fetal development week by week says that in month 4, the baby now has an enlarged liver which holds red blood cells that are needed for rapid growth. The spinal cord grows immensely and can now be seen in an ultrasound. In month 5, the baby grows rapidly in length and it doubles in weight. The fat goes underneath the skin, and this is why it doubles in weight. Lifespan development said that the baby is now 14 inches and it weighs about 26 ounces. The bones hold now 12% calcium, which is not a lot compared to the 90% calcium that adult bones hold. The development is a critical time for organ development. The follicles of the ovaries are now seen in the ultrasound. Each baby starts out as a female, but if they are given a Y chromosome from the dad and it activates, then the male organs develop. The pregnancy book says that the baby now has a complete face made up of a mouth, a nose, eyelids, and eyebrows. From weeks 22 to 26, lifespan development says that the baby now has an outer earbud, but it starts at the neck, and as the jawbone enlarges, the earbud goes back to its right spot. The baby now has reflexes and it can hold on to the umbilical cord. The baby's senses are now working, and they can hear and remember stuff clearly. Now that you know what trimester 2 is about, let's talk about the final weeks to birth, which is considered as trimester 3. In trimester 3, there is a lot of brain development and there is rapid growth. The brain is still immature, but it has developed. The surface of the brain folds over so it can hold more cells because the neurons are constantly being formed. Fetal development week by week says that the nerves are now holding more myelin sheath, which isolates them from each other. This helps the baby develop their movement. The neurons are now being created in vast numbers, up to 500,000 per minute, and the connections between them are very elaborate. Lifespan development says that in week 28, the sleep-wake cycles of the fetus are now the same as the week cycles of the newborn infant. The infant is also aware of the external environment and can hear a lot of sounds. The baby continues to grow and is now ready for birth. In week 28, the sensations are now developing and the baby is beginning to explore its body. The pregnancy book says that if the baby has full cheeks, this is a sign of full development. The skull bones are now being folded over one another to make delivery easier, but the hole is closed by about 18 months. In week 29, the baby is now sucking its thumb, which provides comfort, and the baby is now ready for birth. Now that you know what this speech is about, let's summarize the main points of pregnancy. The 9 months of pregnancy can be broken down into 3 sections: trimester 1, trimester 2, and trimester 3. Trimester 1 can be broken down into 3 periods: germinal, embryonic, and fetal. Trimester 2, there's a lot of growth and development, and in trimester 3, there's a lot of brain development and rapid growth. Just think of a little pea. Once a little ball of cells is now filled with life and opportunity to make what we are today. Think back to when you first found out you were pregnant. Did you think about all the finances and how you were going to provide the baby with all the things that it needs? But once the baby was born, all those worries went away, and now you got to spend time with your little angel. Can you believe that it only took 9 short months to make that baby into a wonderful baby?